I'm Ben Dodge, along with Brian Danko, and we'll be bringing you the excitement of the NASCAR Winston Racing Series for modified competition. The SK Modifieds are in and ready to begin, and the feature event is just around the corner as the excitement builds for the drama of this year's Pentax 200. Well, behind us, the field is set. The SK Modified feature event is ready to go the distance. Brian Danko, it's going to be a great afternoon here at Stafford. A bannerful field of both cars and fans have joined us for the excitement of this Pentax 200 extravaganza.
It should be, Ben. There's 13 winners in the field who have won races at Stafford this year, so the race is really open to anybody today.
It's anybody's game, and if you've been here before at Stafford, you know that this is the toughest of them all. The Stafford Motor Speedway Pentax competition is a 200-lap grind. A year ago, it was 100. Today, it's double the distance. That means double the excitement. And we'll be calling that excitement for you, the race fans, when we begin the action-packed 200-lap grind here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. The SK Modifieds are ready to go the distance here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and their feature event is set as part of the Pentax 200 racing festivities here at Stafford. 2x2 and side-by-side. Individual setting in the front row is Lou Horton. Outside of him, the 179 of John Jensen. They come thundering off the fourth turn, and it looks like Horton will have the advantage of double green flag to wave at the start-finish line. The Lou Horton Racing Enterprises automobile will be the car out front, but already in the middle of the pack, second-generation driver, car number 10. Ed Plenty Jr. tries to get hitched up on the outside. Wayne Dion, always a front runner here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, will dive down low. But the Lou Horton machine will set the pace off turn number 4. Middle of the pack, the battle that we've been talking about is already starting to develop, with several one of the front-running machines in the contention here. Meanwhile, depth down the back straightaway area, car number 10, a middle-of-the-pack runner, Ed Plenty Jr. Second-generation driver is starting to reel in on the number 82 of Mike Christopher. Challenge for the lead. Second lead change is about to occur. Car number 179 has taken over the lead. Lou Horton drops back to the third spot, and Gary Leach will dive down low with car 26.
In the spring, they started off much slower, and they're running now, and they look a lot better.
No doubt about it. The action is going to be in the middle of the pack. Car number 79, Kerry Malone. A gentleman who worked his way up through the SK Modified division has just driven down low beneath car number 10. The 10 automobile of Lou Horton, who once led this event, will drop back a position now as they come thundering off the turns. Mike Christopher puts car number 82 in the contention here. The 179, it carries the markings of yesteryear, the Jensen Racing Enterprises automobile. A sleek red, white, and black number 179 Cavalier is out in front. But in the middle of the pack, there's another battle going on. Mike Christopher, multi-feature event winner, will tuck it down low as the number 79 of Malone will work its way and take over yet another position in this SK Modified feature event. Off the turn, they come once again. Here comes another challenge at the front of the pack. Car number 26X. The Cavalier is being pressured by Bob Potter. Potter, a front runner at the New London Waterford Speedbowl, takes over the Joe Cataniel's machine, and now car number 52 has picked up yet another position, position number 2. The Bob Potter automobile is working its way to the front of the field as Gary Leach, car number 26, is still battling with the likes of Mike Christopher. Christopher moves alongside with car number 82. Leach suddenly sees that the challenge is on. The lead is about to change as well. Off the fourth turn, they tuck it in nose to tail in hot pursuit to challenge for the lead. 3 cars literally under a blanket. They touch, they bump, and they grind as they head down the back straightaway. It's car number 79. Kerry Malone goes from the third spot to the lead with a slingshot move as he comes thundering off turn number 4. Malone becomes the shining star in this event as he has become the third leader in this format for the SK Modified division. Jensen drops back to the number 2 position with car 179. As Malone is already starting to pull away, he will start to work his way and expand from the field. But the 179 of Jensen's not letting him get out of his sight. Behind him is car number 52 for Bob Potter. Potter now takes a dive down low. Different perspective here. Can't quite do it this time, but now here comes another challenge. Bob Potter, who's used to running the third-mile race facilities. Like the New London Waterford Speedway, he's putting some pressure on down underneath car number 179. They'll be closer than most people park off turn number 4. It's red against red, white, and black as they come to the line. It is Bob Potter, the veteran driver, to take over second. Meanwhile, a battle shapes up for the 4th, 5th, and 6th spot. Wayne Dion works his way to the outside. Multiple feature event wins to his credit as Teddy Christopher will go high. Around his brother Mike Christopher as they're pretty much evenly matched off turn number 4.
And it will continue to be Terry Malone leading the pack into turn number 1 with Jensen second and Bob Potter running in the 3rd spot with Wayne Dion, who's moved up to the number 4 spot. Bo Gunning is just going by Mike Christopher, and Terry Malone will come by to complete lap 12 of this 30-lap SK modified feature here on Pentax 200 weekend.
No doubt about it. There's a lot of great racing action going in the middle of the pack. Car number 179, a car that once led this event, has dropped back to about the 3rd or 4th or 5th position now. Now Teddy Christopher, who came from the middle of the field, is working his way to the front. Christopher is down underneath Wayne Dion. They're evenly matched as they come down to the line. This is a battle for the middle of the pack competition as your lead car still remains car number 79 for Kerry Malone. Meanwhile, Christopher is down low. The outside lane could be quicker, but no room. This time, suddenly, the door is slammed, and car number 179 is still fighting on in its quest to maintain the 3rd position in this, the SK Modified Feature event. Meanwhile, out in front, it still remains a 79 of Malone. But look at Ted Christopher now, diving down low with car number 13. It's a battle of the red as they dive deep into the turn, and Richie Gallup will move in. Gallup, who came from a scratch starting spot, has worked his way down low. Gallup, who's already the 1986 Thompson Speedway SK champion, he has worked his way to the front of the field with ease with car number 50. The 179 finds out that there is a lot of heavy hitters still working their way to the front of the field, but now Jensen will start to expand. His once impressive lead is all but vanished in his quest to maintain position 3 through 5. But Teddy Christopher finds the red, white, and blue number 50 automobile of Richie Gallup right there in his back bumper to contend. Gallup now takes a peek at the inside, but Christopher still holds on and maintains the spot. As laps continue to tick away, the battle you're viewing now is the battle for the 3rd place position. The 13 of Christopher holding on desperately as Bo Gunning moves in with car number 98. Meanwhile, Wayne Dion, Shawansky already feature event winners, and the 33 of Charlie Savage are also into the hunt. But back to the front of the class, here comes a challenge for the lead. Bob Potter out of Ockham, Connecticut will dive down low with car number 52. Potter puts it down low, high, wide, and handsome is the story here. And we now have yet another leader in this event. Bob Potter becomes the class of the field. He will set the pace as Kerry Malone is forced to settle for position number 2. But Richie Gallup is starting to work his way to the front of the field as well. He will set in position number 3.
Potter, as he continues to stretch out his lead, goes to show that his wins down at the Waterford Speedway this year have not been a fluke. Right now, the battle is presently for the 3rd spot between Richie Gallup, Teddy Christopher, and Bo Gunning. As they head down the back straightaway, this time around, they will complete lap 20. 10 laps to go on this SK feature.
You talk about 2 outstanding up-and-comers in open wheel racing today. These are among the best in competition here. Car number 50, Richie Gallup, has battled with Christopher on so many occasions. And Bo Gunning, with 10 laps to go, is a competitor that always has been surrounded with controversy and excitement, whether it's here at Stafford or any of the other great facilities to offer great close competition for the SK. But right now, the lead car still remains car number 52. Bob Potter is out in front, but the battle is not for the lead currently, as Christopher has dropped off the pace rather suddenly, and Bo Gunning will pick up yet another position. That position will be position number 4. Christopher drops off the pace. Car number 13 limps to the infield area, and the Christopher machine is out of the competition here. Heartbreaking situation after running in the 4th spot with only 10 laps to go. Malone now starts to falter a bit, and Richie Gallup puts the pedal to the metal. That sleek, exotic red, white, and blue number 50 is working its way to the front of the field. He goes to the outside of the number 90 automobile as the caution flag comes out in the turns 1 and 2 of situation here. With the Lou Horton number 10, a car that once led the event, and Marcel Leclerc's number 18 automobile. Minor contact was made there, but the Lou Horton machine set stopped between turns 1 and 2 under caution. He will start to pull away. there's no doubt about it that this event has been an exciting event, and the competition for 22 circuits around the prestigious half mile has proved to be very interesting. There have been 3 different leaders in the event. It started out with car number 10, the car that brought out the caution, and that, of course, is the Lou Horton machine. Then John Jensen came from a front starting position to challenge and take over the lead. 5 laps later, a new leader was out in front, and it was car number 52, the gentleman who is the 1986 New London Waterford Speedway SK Modified Division champion. That, of course, is Bob Potter from Ockham, Connecticut. Potter driving the Joe Catania machine, a Chevrolet Cavalier with a Richie Evans chassis. The 52 is the car that is out in front and among the shining stars here in this event, with 22 laps showing on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard. But Kerry Malone is going to get yet another opportunity to contend here. We go back to the last completed circuit of competition, in car number 79 for Malone will be starting outside of row number 1. Malone from Needham, Massachusetts. He has secured several great finishes here and has been considered among the front-running cars wherever this type of competition is set. It's a beautiful afternoon here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and these cars carry all the markings of a full-fledged modified. They're Stafford Motor Speedway's patent-pended division, and they prove to be exciting. Many of the experts in today's auto racing market feel that this division of cars could possibly replace the mighty NASCAR Winston Modified. The battle is going to be on, and when the green flag comes back out, after adjustments to the lineup, row number 1 should be just as impressive as the second row of competition. In the second row, it was Richie Gallup. He, as we said before, has become the 1986 Thompson Speedway champion for the SK, Southern New England Racing Association type race car. Bo Gunning, who's sitting in the 4th spot with that black, yellow, and orange machine, is the gentleman who won the final Friday night event of the 1986 season. In the 3rd row, the number 66, as you see them pulling away from you, is Wayne Dion, who's had his share of victories during the 1986 season. Car number 99 is also a front runner who sat in the winner's circle on at least one occasion. He sits in position number 6. His name is Shawansky. That's the stage, and the restart lineup is looking good and looking impressive. 2 by 2, they'll be ready to go the distance once again. The Pontiac Trans Am safety vehicle is pacing the field. This is open-wheel competition with close and impressive racing at its absolute best. 22 laps show on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard, with 8 laps remaining in this event. The plot will thicken, the pace will pick up, the green flag is out, and Bob Potter will lead them down to the line.
Potter continues to lead them down as they head into turn number 1 as Kerry Malone tries to hold on to that second spot, and will do that, but Richie Gallup and Bo Gunning are now beginning to apply pressure. Wayne Dion has moved into the 5th spot, but the battle is for the number 1 spot as they are challenging for Bob Potter. Richie Gallup is about 2 car lengths off his bumper.
No doubt about it, the action is going to be for position number 3 currently on the racetrack, because Richie Gallup has moved away and he is already putting pressure on. The 99 of Shawansky goes sliding through the infield. But the real battle in this event is right up front. Richie Gallup dives down low. He becomes leader number 4. Gallup flies by car number 52, a car that he once drove for Joe Catania, and Richie Gallup puts the number 50 automobile to the front of the pack. Reggie Ruggiero, front-running modified driver, is being challenged by Charlie Savage in the middle of the pack, and Charlie Savage will pick up the spot with car 33. No doubt about it, Charlie Savage is working his way to the front. As yet, it appears another caution for car number 99 at this point, and that will change the complexion of this event with 24 laps showing on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
Richie Gallup really got a good bite off of that 3rd turn, which was enough to propel him by Bob Potter there, and I wonder if Potter's beginning to have a little bit of tire wear here, even though it is only 24 laps in.
Well, you talk about combinations. These 2 cars are pretty much the same. In 1985 here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, Richie Gallup drove car number 50. Ironically, the car that you now see as 52 was once the number 50. Joe Catania owned the automobile there then, and now for 1986, Richie Gallup has put together his own team. As we said before, he has won events up and down the East Coast where these competitors have competed in. And Gallup is compared to, well, like a lot of the front-running competitors in this division, among the brightest new talent to hit the road and pavement here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Pontiac Trans Am safety vehicle picks up the front of the field now, and once again 24 laps will show on the scoreboard. The cars will begin to pull back into their correct formation, and we will be set to begin once again after another impressive round of racing action here at Stafford. The 50 now finds the 52 of Bob Potter sitting next to him in row number 1. Bo Gunning will make up the second row with car number 98, and outside of him it'll be car number 79. 3 rows back in the competition, it'll be the 66 and the 33 of Jerry Pearl. The pace will thicken. The excitement begins. The green is out, and Richie Gallup is once again back up front, but in the middle of the pack, a different story here. Reggie Field comes thundering on by. Impressively, they work their way to the front, and now another challenge. Car number 25, Reggie Ruggiero, has picked up yet another spot. As Charlie Savage puts the number 33 down beneath Kerry Malone. Richie Gallup's got the K&B tool machine, car number 50, at the front of the pack, and he is the man to contend with 5 laps to go.
So true, Ben. Gallup continues to open up about a 3 to 5 car length lead on the back straightaway, but Charlie Savage and Kerry Malone are battling it out for the 6th and 7th spot here as they will go into turn number 4.
Turn number 4 is the hot spot currently, and by the time the field makes it into turn number 1, they have pretty much single filed out. Battle remains now for the 3rd and 4th position. Car number 66, Wayne Dion, is wheeling in on the back bumper of car number 98. 2 chassis dynamics built automobiles built in Waterbury, Connecticut, are contending for the 3rd and 4th position as the laps continue to tick away with 27 laps showing on the scoreboard. The leader is car number 50. Second is the 52, and third, the battle that you're watching, is between car number 98 and the number 66 automobile of Wayne Dion. The 98 is Bo Gunning. We've mentioned before, the 2-lap marker is being given. Gunning won the last Friday night event here of the 1986 season at Stafford, and he is looking extremely strong with the 98. They head down the back straightaway, and the number 98 of Gunning is still trying to hold on to position number 3. He is now moving in on Bob Potter, who sits in the 2nd spot. And just as Brian Danko had mentioned before, a tire situation could become the key ingredient here. But for one more circuit around, there is no doubt about it that the leader will remain the number 50 automobile of Richie Gallup. Gallup builds a commanding lead as the checkered flag will wave, and Gallup has secured another victory to his credit, and he will set in Winston victory lane. In for second, the 52 of Bob Potter. Third will be the number 98 of Bo Gunning, and fourth, the 66 of Wayne Dion. Fifth, car number 25 for Reggie Ruggiero. 6th position, car number 33 for Charlie Savage. 7th, the 79 of Kerry Malone. 8th, the 82 of Mike Christopher. 9th, Jack Ely, and 10th, the number 179 of John Jensen. The K&B tool machine, the Hoosier Tire entry. Car number 50 will visit Winston Victory Lane, and Richie Gallup becomes an impressive gentleman who secures a victory in the SK Modified division here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. The mighty NASCAR Modified will soon be preparing for 200 laps, brought to you by Pentax for the main event of excitement here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
We did a hell of a job, and I got to thank Bob Brunnhoelzl and my sponsor K&B Tool and Poncho, and Village Motors. I'm just real happy. Made a little party in Poncho's, right? Yeah, I think so. And also, like to, this is my girlfriend's birthday cake, and dedicate this to her. Hey, that's a nice birthday present. All right. Richie Gallup.
Has to be set up.
The official top 10 finisher for the SK Modified feature event will be Richie Gallup to secure the win with car number 50. Bob Potter will finish in the number 2 spot with the number 52. Bo Gunning will be 3rd with car number 98, and 4th spot will be Wayne Dion with the number 66. 5th spot, Reggie Ruggiero, car number 25. 6th spot, Charlie Savage, car number 33. 7th spot, Kerry Malone, car number 79. 8th spot, car number 82 for Mike Christopher, and 9th spot will be Jack Ely's machine, car number 90X. There you have it, positions number 1 through 9 in, of course, the SK Modified feature event of competition. big events like the Winston 300 and the World Series of Championship Auto Racing. The Stafford Motor Speedway will be on hand with excitement from events like the Pentax 200 and the Coca-Cola Fall Final. This fall, Nesson has it all in championship auto racing with the best in fall events. Nesson is your sports connection for auto racing.
Farms, Connecticut, the B.J. Nolan.
The 17th annual Pentax 200 here at the Stafford Motor Speedway is assembled on the starting grid. The lineup for the competition here at Stafford has never looked better. We'll be bringing you the starting lineup in the 30th starting position. At the back of the pack, it'll be car number 38. That, of course, the gentleman who rarely visits the Stafford Motor Speedway, for Dan Marcello.
In the 29th position in the 14X will be SK driver Mike Capacetti.
31 starting spot will be car number 73X. The car will be renumbered for the competition, and that, of course, will be a midget driver, Butch Uris.
And in the 27th spot, driving the number 78, will be Lloyd Ager.
Moving now to position number 28. It'll be the Hoffman Racing Enterprises Chevrolet Cavalier, car number 1 for John Hoffman.
While in position 25, it will be car number 35 with S.J. Avanchin.
Driver's change here, kind of misfortune occurring for car number 26, the gentleman who's running right up front in the regional point standings as well as the national point standings. He'll be driving car number 7 today. It's the Kurt Chase Racing Enterprises Cavalier. He's running second in the points, and that, of course, is George Kent out of Horseheads, New York.
While next to Kent will be Alan McClure driving the number 66.
22nd starting position. Saturday night, he won his first modified career win at the Riverside Park Speedway. He'll be driving the Bob Judkin Chevrolet Cavalier from Enfield, Connecticut, car number 2X for Jerry Marquis.
In the 21st position, driving renumbered number 70, Bob Pulvereri in the 711.
In the 23rd starting position, it'll be the start-finish automobile. A Chevrolet Cavalier with an Evans chassis beneath the automobile. Traditionally, it carries a number 123. For this event, car number 23 for Bruce D'Alessandro out of East Hartford, Connecticut.
While from Ellington, Connecticut will be car number 76 of Tommy Bowles.
In the 19th starting spot, it'll be car number 19. G.R. Gardner Automotive Machine for Bobby Park.
With Tony Jankowiak, normally in the number 73, today renamed the number 93.
16th starting spot, it'll be the Coors Beer Silver Bullet Automobile, Chevrolet Cavalier, car number 75 for Carl Pastriak.
In the 15th position, the man who leads the National Modified Tour, Jimmy Spencer.
Scheduled to start in position number 14. By luck of the draw after the time trials here this afternoon, it'll be the Superior Processing Machine, car number 2X, the Hoffman chassis race car for Jeff Fuller.
And in the 13th position, former track champ, driving the Art Berry Southern New England Eggs, number 21, Greg Sachs.
The Perry Gricci Racing Enterprises automobile will start 12th on the grid. The GNR Racing Chassis number 11 automobile. That, of course, is Forestville, Connecticut's front-running driver for Reggie Ruggiero.
While in the 11th position will be Ricky Fuller driving the U2 today, renumbered the O2.
In the 10th starting spot, driving car number 99. From Neptune, New Jersey, the Oval Track Racing Enterprises machine, car number 10 for Jamie Tomeno.
While in position number 9 will be car number 9 for Ray Miller of East Granby, Connecticut.
In the 8th starting spot, it'll be car number 28, the primered automobile that won the final Friday night event here at the Stafford Motor Speedway for George Brunnhoelzl.
While in the 7th position will go at front-running driver Kenny Bouchard.
In the 6th starting spot, it'll be the defending winner of this event and winner of Spring Sizzler 1986. He'll be driving the West Hartford Tool & Die Chevrolet Cavalier, car number 73 for Flying Brian Ross of Boston Spa, New York.
Starting next to Ross will be Jerry Cramner of Trenton, New Jersey.
In the 4th starting spot, driving the SMS Southwick Motor Sales machine, he is two-time Riverside Park Winston Racing Series champion. This automobile has our camera attached to it. He'll be driving car number 71 for John Rosati out of Agawam.
While in the 3rd position will be car number 04 for Corky Cookman of...
Scheduled to start in the front row. The man that turned the fastest time here this afternoon. He'll be driving the Casella Speed Equipment number 15 automobile. He is the 1986 Stafford Motor Speedway Winston Racing Series champion. He'll be driving a Chevrolet Cavalier for Mighty Mike Stefanik out of Greenwich, Rhode Island.
And the man who will bring the cars around for the 17th annual Pentax 200, driving the Sherry Cup, Sherwood Industries sponsored, number 12 from Mike McLaughlin of New Britain, Connecticut.
I'm Ben Dodge, and we're here at the Stafford Motor Speedway as the Pentax 200 is about to begin. This 17th annual event will be 200 circuits around the oval here at Stafford. perhaps the toughest and most unique half-mile facilities of them all. The track straightaways distance here at the Stafford Motor Speedway are 42 feet. The turns are 51 feet. The track banking edge to edge between turns is 7.5 degrees. The length of the front straightaway is 500 feet, and the back straightaway is 550 feet. That 50 feet will really make a difference here this afternoon. The stage is set. There is an impressive field of the nation's leading finest in the NASCAR Winston Racing Series here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. It is beautiful weather conditions here at Stafford, sunny, with winds southeast at 10 miles per hour, with a chance of rain being just a minimum of 20%. We are ready to go the distance here at Stafford, and the competition will prove to be fast and furious. A look into the record books a year ago today. The event was only 100 laps in distance, and Flying Brian Ross from Boston Spa, New York, put the West Hartford Tool and Die machine into the winner's circle for a victory worth $3,700. Richie Evans, the national modified champions, came on strong to challenge and finished in the number 2 spot. Carl Bugsy Stevens, a name that is not in the starting lineup this year, already met with misfortune and lost an engine in the practice. He finished 3rd 1 year ago. George Kent drove his car to the 4th spot in the 1985 rundown, but in 1986, he'll be driving the Kurt Chase number 7, a car that he's a little bit unfamiliar with. Kenny Bouchard finished in the 5th spot. He's starting right up front. Mike McLaughlin is sitting in that front row. A year ago, he finished 6th. Ray Miller finished 7th. 8th was Charlie Jazombach. 9th was George Brunnhoelzl. And 10th was Jeff Fuller. The stage is set. They're ready to begin. This, the biggie of them all here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, as the stage is set and ready to go the distance. As the field is starting to move away from the starting grid, and the stage is set and ready to begin. Earlier this afternoon in the pit area, we took a look at perhaps the magical formula that began it all here at Stafford. For many of these competitors, it could be the distance and the racer's edge. There are all types of stories being told from the pit area here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. But there is one combination money can buy, and it will make a difference. In the running of the Pentax 200 or any NASCAR modified events, especially the extra distance events, the combination is going to be tires. The tire next to me on the left here is a brand new Goodyear. The Goodyear Eagle has become the magical formula in modified racing today. And this tire that costs approximately $140 could become the deciding factor here today. You look at the tire, it's all smooth, and it appears to be, well, very, very slick. But when you touch it, the rubber is soft and is extremely pliable. After a few laps, it all changes rather rapidly, and it appears more like this, gummier, and yet even softer than one might expect. Today, they'll run the soft tires for a while, but then they'll be forced to have to pit and make that second change. The second change could become the crucial one. Tires have become a way of life in auto racing, and the NASCAR Modifieds are no exception, especially in a 200-lap grind. Here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, they're about ready to begin. The parade of pace cars hit down the front straightaway, final time before they'll be driven to the center of the infield, and 200 laps around this very fast and very special half-mile facility will decide yet another winner. Mike McLaughlin sets on the inside of that Dayglow orange machine. McLaughlin has always been an impressive competitor here at Stafford. In 1985, he started in the 6th spot and finished 6th. Then he drove the Len Bowler, number 3. Time trial is the 5th fastest in this event. Today, he was even quicker. For 1986, he'll be running a Billy Nazowitz-built car. The Evans chassis number 12, the Sherwood Industries car, has become a multi-winner here at Stafford, winning its first feature back on May 9th. But out in row number 1, there is another competitor. He has had a spectacular 1986 season. He, of course, is the driver of car number 15. The 15 automobile has dominated the racing action to become the champion here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. The fans are waving in anticipation of the start. Initially to begin, this, the biggie of them all for Pentax racing action. 200 times, as we said so many times before, around the oval here at Stafford makes it definitely an afternoon of great entertainment for you, the auto racing enthusiasts. The field is set. They are side by side, ready to go the distance. Stefanik is the man that's setting outside. Mike McLaughlin, Corky Cookman, and John Rosati setting in the second row. The green flag comes out, and we are ready. Turn number 1, it appears that car number 12 will be the main car to contend with, and he will set the pace up in front. The Sherwood Industries Jerry Cup machine is your lead automobile. Meanwhile, John Rosati puts the 71, the camera car here for us, to the outside to work its way into contend as John Rosati is working the outside of Corky Cookman, thundering down the front straightaway. 2x2 formation for most. Corky Cookman now battles back to try to take over position number 3. While he is contending there and Cookman is maintaining the 3rd spot, John Rosati has to settle for the 4th position. Rosati is setting in the 4th spot at this point, while the battle is raging between Jerry Krabner and car number 73 for Brian Ross, the West Hartford Tool and Die Machine. Keep your eyes on the Ross car, because remember that car won this event 1 year ago. Meanwhile, in the middle of the pack, there's a different battle going on. It's car number 28, who won the Friday night program, the last event of 1986 for George Brunnhoelzl, is working its way to the outside of Kenny Bouchard, who's car number 3. Jamie DeGutomato is working the outside lane as well, and behind him is Reggie Ruggiero in the black number 11 and the number 9 of Ray Miller as they head down the back straightaway.
And the battle continues on between Corky Cookman and John Rosati for that 3rd and 4th spot as they come down the complete lap number 4. And it appears that Cookman has gotten the black flag for some reason.
No doubt about it. While Cookman is being black flagged up front, Reggie Ruggiero is still trying to move in with Kenny Bouchard, and here comes Jeff Fuller. Fuller has just broken through to the middle of the pack, while Corky Cookman is still trying to hold off the number 71 automobile. It appears that the black flag is for car number 04. Correction, the black flag is for car number 71. The John Rosati automobile is the car that is being black flagged, and look at Jim Spencer. Mr. Excitement out of Berwick, Pennsylvania, puts the quick stop beverage machine down underneath the Coors Silver Bullet. Spencer is rim riding down low. He is underneath the Jason Tool Cavalier of Ray Miller. Up towards the front of the pack once again. As the Sherwood Industries Sherry Cup machine leads this event, a caution flag comes out. We've got a massive mix-up in turn number 1. Cookman is okay, but in turn number 1, we've got car number 19 for Bobby Park, the 75 machine of Carl Pastriak, and another car which is up on top of those automobiles. We believe that possibly that could be the number 711 of Bob Pulvereri. The cars are setting, piled on to each other in turn number 1. Bobby Park, an individual that runs very, very strong at facilities like Riverhead, has been caught in the melee in the mix-up in this situation. The Coors Silver Bullet, a car that picked up major sponsorship, is a car that is also severely damaged, and we believe it is car number 711 for Bob Pulvereri, the 4-time champion. Bruce D'Alessandro's number 123, renumbered 23, for the competition here, is also setting on the racetrack with what appears to be some damage to the front end in the start-finish production automobile. Meanwhile, the record crew is calling for double records, which is not a positive or good sign. The Pontiac Trans Am safety vehicle brings the field around as S.J. Avanson puts the Diamond Construction automobile into the pit area. Car number 35 will take that long trip back to the pits as his crew is anxiously awaiting to try to tend to any situations that could occur.
Mike McLaughlin currently leads the parade of 30 modifieds down to complete lap 8 as we are under caution here for the 2nd lap in that turn 1 accident between Pulvereri, Bruce D'Alessandro, Bob Park, and the Coors Special of Carl Pastriak. McLaughlin, who last week at the Thompson International Raceway was edged out by Jimmy Spencer for the win in the pole position for next week's Thompson 300. McLaughlin in the Sherry Cup sponsored number 12 has had a tough time early during the year, but hopes to be getting his acts together along with Clyde McLeod and Billy Carrazzo, who owns the car. A fine crowd on hand for today's 17th annual Pentax 200, which last year was a twin 100 with the NASCAR late model tour and 100 laps for the NASCAR modified. This year, due to a fan's request, it has gone back to a 200 lap grind for the modified. As you can see, the accident with a host of wreckers trying to untangle the mess in turn 1.
The report from the scene, all the drivers involved are okay, but apparently some
all the drivers involved in the situation are okay, and it appears that very shortly we'll be heading back to green flag competition. You know, in the pit area here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, we talked with many of the competitors. Fact is, we talked to the man that is actually leading this event with the number 12 automobile. Mike McLaughlin, a multi-feature event winner during the 1986 season, truly has become the shining star during the first 9 circuits around this prestigious half-mile facility. In addition to that, the man that sets in second has also been very, very impressive, and that is Mike Stefanik. Back in 1985 for the Pentax 200, Stefanik drove car number 15. This particular automobile, the Jack Cozzella wood chopper machine. It finished 25th in the event while it dropped out with mechanical problems in the engine compartment on lap number 58. In 1986, he's back as the champion, and he's looking stronger and better than ever. Carl Pastriak, car number 75, one of the cars that was involved in the mix-up, was also severely damaged and works its way on the back of the wrecker as they start to spread the debris of cars that are spread in turn number 1. Mike McLaughlin, the man that sets right up front, is truly the man that is the man to contend with here. We'll go to an interview with McLaughlin and his thoughts before this prestigious event.
Speaking with Mike McLaughlin, driver of the Sherry Cup Sherwood Industry number 12. Mike, you had a fine run at the Oswego Speedway on Saturday with a third-place finish. This is a more important race as far as NASCAR modified points go. Right now you're in the 5th spot. How's your outlook look for today's race?
We've warmed up once so far today. The car felt real good. It's a long race. I think the most important thing will be the pit stop. You know, as far as getting in at the right time, getting out. If you get in early enough, you don't have to abuse the car to get back up to the front. Then again, you're out of tires at the end, so it's going to be interesting.
Now, on a race like today where you have time trials and then qualifying heats to set up the starting order, is it that important to start up front?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's too long of a race to start at the back. You can get up front and get a good spot for the heat. You know, your chances of making it to the main are a lot easier.
On a race like this, will you have your pit strategies planned before the race, or will you sort of be talking with Clyde on the radio during the event?
I would say today we are pretty much going to have our pit strategy all set before the race starts.
Mike McLaughlin, one of the young lions on the NASCAR Modified Tour, looking for a win here today in the Pentax 200.
Well, car number 19 is being picked up hammock style between turns 1 and 2, and the cars involved in the crash with a 123, a win number 23 for Bruce D'Alessandro, 711 of Bob Pulvereri, the 19 of Bobby Park, and the number 75 of Carl Pastriak. It appears that the last car to be towed from the unfortunate scene in turns 1 and 2 is car number 19 for Bobby Park, the impressive independent runner who visits the Stafford Motor Speedway on a rare and somewhat unusual situation occurring here as the parked car is being brought back to the center of the infield.
12 laps have been completed in this 200-lap, 100-mile grind here at the Stafford Speedway, as we have been under caution for the last 6 laps to clean up the mess in the first turn.
Well, as car number 12 still is under caution as your lead automobile here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. We told you when we gave you the starting lineup that one of our cars in the field, the car that has been receiving a black flag for a few circuits around here before we went to caution, car number 71, is the car that has the in-house camera attached to it. We'll go now and talk about that before we go back to green flag racing. This footage was actually shot during one of the practice sessions here today to actually get a look at what it would be like, the vibration. The course here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, the tightness of the turns, the long, long straightaways. And remember, here at Stafford, the back straightaway is even longer than the front. This was practice shooting here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Started Chris Hopkins selling the field with a white flag in his hand one more time before they're set to go back to green flag competition. The first caution came out, as we said before. Massive pileup. Nobody was injured in the situation in turn number 1, and now we're set to go back to green flag racing. The pass react machine has severe sheet metal damage, but it is picking up at the rear of the field. And now, of course, the pace is going to pick up just a bit. Your eyes on McLaughlin and Mike Stefanik, two very capable and noted front-running competitors. We talked about them earlier. Now the stage is set for the two ready to go back to green flag competition. Pick up the pace just a bit. McLaughlin gets a tremendous bite on the low side as they come off the turn. Cookman sees the inside lane open up. The outside of the car will wobble just a bit, and that's going to cost him at least half a car lane's distance. Trouble now at almost the same location as we've seen it before. We've got another massive pileup in turns 1 and 2. Involved in the situation is car number 11 for Reggie Ruggiero, 73 of Tony Jankowiak, the 66 of Alan McClure, the 59 of Jerry Cramner, and it looks like the number 99 of Jamie Tomato. Those cars in almost the exact spot that we've seen a similar situation occur just a lap or so ago. And once again, we are under caution here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. With 16 laps showing in the Winston Racing Series scoreboard, the Ferrara safety crew is going to check out the racing surface between turns 1 and 2.
Right now on the screen you see Michael Stefanik, who today set a fast time of 18.986, a blistering pace here, an average speed of 95 miles an hour. And when you...
Brand new track record, Brian, and of course the talents of Stefanik. It has been an unbelievable 1986 season for him and his crew. He is also running right up front in both the Winston and the national point standings as well. And as he said before, the old track record was broke, and there was 4 cars that shared in the limelight here. But Mike Stefanik came to the top of the list with 18.986. Mike McLaughlin, second fastest, 19.027. Brian Ross was third fastest, also turning in a 19.027. And Jim Spencer with a 19.034. Mighty Mike Stefanik, a name that we now refer to him as, has really started to prove himself and has really come into his own during this 1986 year. And Stefanik, while running right up front in this event, also was very informative to express his opinions and his ideas on exactly how he felt about this event in the 1986 year. We'll go to Stefanik and we'll talk with him in reference to today's event. The 1986 season here at the Stafford Motor Speedway has been an impressive one. There have been several newcomers to rise to the top of the list with success associated with them. But for 1986, the champion of champions here at the Stafford Motor Speedway is Mike Stefanik, a gentleman that started his racing career at facilities like Stafford, and now he holds the title for the 86 years. Mike, it's been a great season for you. The car has performed to perfection. You've run right up front all year. Today is a Pentax 200. Any different strategy for this one than all the ones that brought you to the championship?
Well, Ben, it's been a good year. This one's a little easier for us because we don't have the pressure of the point system anymore. I'm a little bit more relaxed, and I think we can just take this one as it comes. We have a lot of things can happen, but we're really prepared for it. We have all our tires already scuffed already, and car feels good, and the motor feels good, so I'm waiting for it.
There are several different combinations to set up for a race of this distance. It's 200 laps around the half mile here, perhaps the fastest and most prestigious half miles of them all. The Stafford Motor Speedway is among the toughest tracks to set up for. Mike, would you agree with that? And what's your combination?
Well, yes, I would, because there are so many fast cars here. Some excellent drivers, very smart crew chiefs. So if you're a little bit off, you can have a good night with the car working well and still finish 5th or 7th. So yeah, it's a real tough racetrack to be consistently fast at.
Well, today, Mike Stefanik takes on a new challenge, a challenge of winning one of the big events here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Cars involved in the accident included car number 73, Tony Jankowiak, the number 11 of Reggie Ruggiero, the 66 of Alan McClure, the 99 of Jamie Tomato, and the number 59 of Jerry Cramner. It appears that car number 11, the Reggie Ruggiero machine, is the car that is perhaps the most severely damaged of the car involved in that group. There's the number 11 sets in the center of the infield with another group of automobiles that have been severely damaged with only 19 laps showing on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. But for the remainder of the field, the track is starting to take its toll here at Stafford. Car number 73, Tony Jankowiak, will be able to come back out and pick up at the back of the pack. But Mike McLaughlin is going to be among the shining stars here this afternoon, at least for 19 circuits around this very fast half-mile race facility. The Stafford Motor Speedway is a unique race facility. It is New England's premier half-mile racetrack and features the NASCAR Winston Racing Series during the summer months on a Friday night basis. Perhaps Stafford's proudest accomplishment is the division of cars that they refer to as the SK Modified, open-wheel race cars that carry all the markings of being a full-fledged modified, but are a cost-cutting division as well. And of course, here at Stafford, this track is considered among the toughest of them all to contend with. If you run up front here at Stafford, it is almost certain that you can dominate wherever you intend to go in NASCAR modified competition. Here on the front straightaway area, the NASCAR officials are checking for a leak. One of the automobiles is leaking some type of fluid on the racetrack. They are checking the cars right up front. They have just checked car number 12, the Sherwood Industries machine. Now they are checking the Mike Stefanik number 15 for a leak at this point. They believe that possibly this leak could be gear oil or something coming out of the back end of the car. Here's the number 71 of Rosati. You can almost see the camera, which is attached to the roll cage, which is just above the numbers on the automobile. Brian Ross's car is signaled by. Now they are checking car number 28. That, of course, is a George Brunnhoelzl machine that won here Friday night for the final Friday night event of the 1986 season. Kenny Bouchard is next. Of course, he is the brother of Ronnie Bouchard, the Winston driver on the Grand National Circuit. Car number 2X, Jeff Fuller, another hard-charging up-and-comer. We talked with him also earlier in the pit area, and he was extremely up for the competition here this afternoon. The U2 is Ricky Fuller out of Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. Car number 21, another Grand National driver, former Stafford Motor Speedway champion Greg Sachs. The 24, Mr. Excitement, Jim Spencer. Car number 9 is Ray Miller. Miller in the A&A Office Systems machines had a very hard luck season. This is car number 2X, renumber 22. It won Saturday night at the Riverside Park Speedway. The 1 is Hoffman. The 76 is Tommy Bowles. 78 is Lloyd Akers. This is an SK Modified that has been revamped especially for the competition here today. Car number 38 is the car that started scratch in this event. And that's car number 38 for Dan Melchallo. And they are checking that particular automobile. Butch Uris has just pulled by with his car, and the Spinelli auto sales machine appears to be possibly one of the cars that they are heavily checking on. But Larry Neisowitz has looked like, as the NASCAR official, that it is possibly car number 63 is the car that had the leak. Correction, that's number 73 that had the leak. And it looks like that car is going to be heading to the pits, and it does. Meanwhile, the NASCAR officials are still on the racing surface here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. They are checking out the pavement as the Butch Uris automobile is heading into the pit area at this point. Soon we'll be set to go back to green flag conditions here at the Speedway, and it appears that, yes, the Uris crew is checking the back end of car number 73, checking for that leak or wherever the problem might develop. In this, the running of the Pentax 200 here from the Stafford Motor Speedway. You know, before we were talking about different competitors that build and make up the starting lineup and things that occurred, well, just a year ago during the running of the 1985 season. Car number 99, Jamie Tomeno, a competitor that was involved in that mix-up that brought out the caution. Back in 1985, he overheated while running in the event up front, and he only went 31 laps around the half-mile facility here at Stafford. Mike Stefanik is, of course, right up front, but right now we're going to go back to the pit area and look at the competitors before this prestigious event. 2 feature event wins in the 1986 season here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and that's a pretty impressive record by any standards in modified racing. Car number 99, Jamie Tomeno, dominated the racing action on the New Jersey circuits. He's won in major events before. Today he comes to Stafford for this big event, and he is more than just your average contender. The combination is here. The magical formula for Jamie has been discovered before. He's already won a 100-lap program. Today the distance is doubled, and the pressure will be even more. Jamie, do you set up the automobile any different for this event than you have any of the other events you've competed in 1986?
No, not really today, Ben. Just the big difference is the extra 100 laps, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on most of us here today, because we're usually 100 laps is tough enough on us, but the 200 laps will be even tougher.
Jamie, let's talk about the tire situation itself. A lot of the individuals in the pit area say the tires are going to be crucial. There's talk that 1 set will go the distance. For others, they say maybe 2 and 3 sets. What's the story there?
Well, I do believe that you're definitely going to have to change tires in this race. 100 laps, you're close when you run 100, so my own opinion is the winner's definitely going to have to change the tires. when the pit stop happens and how whoever uses their car the least and can use the car at the end is going to win this race.
You know, it's a big transition to move from short tracks, like the short tracks you competed at before, and make the move to the Stafford Motor Speedway, where there's the best in the business competing with you on a regular basis. It's tough, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's one reason why we came here, you know. It gets you tougher, and it's only helped me 100%.
Well, Jamie Tomeno, he's not a dark horse in this one. Look for him among the front-running cars when the checkered comes out here at Stafford.
The Winston Racing Series helmet, the sign of a champion. Only a select members of NASCAR's Winston Finest Racing Series get these. You have to win a track championship. And during the course of a year, there are many big races that lead up to a track championship. And Reggie Ruggiero, you're a past winner of this event. It's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, I won this race back in 1984. I was driving Mario Fiore's Miller time, number 44, and it was a great thrill to win this race. It's a 200-lap race. You have to pit, and we don't pit too much, you know, to change tires and for gas. And when we do that, and the guys really get hyped up because they like to show what they can do, not only the driver. And it's just all, Stafford's a great racetrack, so it just makes it all a great race for today.
Winning a track championship and getting that helmet, it proves that you're one of the few men who have won track championships across the country. That's also got to be another thrill in racing.
Yeah, I won 2 track championships in 1979, one at Riverside Park, one at Monadnock in New Hampshire, and I came back to win Riverside again. I think it was 83, and then in Stafford 83 and Riverside again in 84. It's a real thrill because Winston really does it up good for everybody, you know, makes you feel important. So when you go race all year and you end up being the track champion, you feel important.
This race here, 200 laps, as you said, the pit stops and everything. What will you plan for? What will you look for in the race early on?
Well, today we're going to be a little conservative today. Our motor, our good motor, is out being fixed, and this is our Riverside Park motor. And we're going to sort of save the car for the last 50 laps. So that's our strategy. We're going to pit early and go race from about lap 140 on.
Reggie Ruggiero, a past winner of this race and a former track championship, hoping that 87 will be better than 1986 has been and add another helmet to his collection.
All the very, very best have come to the Stafford Motor Speedway for this one. The man that runs right up front as a national point contender. We refer to him as Mr. Excitement. Fact is, it was a name that I gave him at the initial Sizzler when he first visited the Stafford Motor Speedway. Jim Spencer has won all the prestigious events. The Cam 2 Race of Champions, the big events up and down the East Coast. Today he's come for a new challenge in an area that he's familiar before. He has won Sizzlers at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and today he looks to win the Pentax 200. Jimmy, you've been out for a couple warm-ups. Is the car performing to your liking, or is there going to be more work going on to dial it into perfection?
No, we were just out the second time, and the car is consistent like we usually like to be. It's important in a long race like this to have the car that the driver's comfortable and that the car can stay consistent with you all day, and it feels that good right now. Speaking about the fans, you know, the first time you mentioned about the Sizzler, I gained a big following with Mr. Excitement and everything, and I haven't really let him down, and I would like to try and be the next national champ, but beginning of the year we didn't think that we could do anything because we had one car, one motor, and it was very, very limited, and all along we felt we could do it, but we needed the financial help, and we got it from Frank Cece at a Horseheads near a Quick Stop Beverage, and he came along, and we didn't really get the team going until May 31st, Memorial Day. And when we got all the equipment in the garage, it took us about another month to really get organized and sorted out. And all of a sudden, we were in contention. We were third in the national. Then now all at once we're leading the national title. We're second in Northeast Regional. And we really feel confident that we can win them. It's going to be hard because we had such a late start. But the point of it is that they're going to know we're fighting with them. So I hope we can do it.
Well, there's no question about it that Jim Spencer is really going to show him that he can get the job done here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. But it doesn't end from here. It goes on to the major fall events. Next weekend, it's the Thompson 300. Jim has been in the victory lane there before. Then it's on to Pocono. Yes, he has visited there, too. The fall lineup is where Jim Spencer comes on the strongest. Yeah. Is that going to be the story here?
Well, there's a lot of pressure off me. I'm starting on the pole next week in the 300. I have won that race. It's a long and distance race, long endurance race, I should say. And the last 50 laps is very exciting. As I proved it racing against Richie, the national champ, that he'll never be replaced. The Pocono, the same thing. I won that one, and it's so much preparation goes involved in the car, and I have a good crew that can prepare the car to finish. And I think that I have leveled off as a driver to where it's important for me to use my judgment in the early part of the race, and I believe that we will be a force in the big races, and I think that that's where the title is going to be decided, at Thompson, Pocono, Oxford, Maine, Stafford again, Thompson again. So there is a lot of big races coming up, and we feel confident, so we're going to try.
That confidence is going to be the story for Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer. Look for him in the winner's circle here today, too. When you talk about fast and furious, car number 2X in the pit area here is among the sleekest and perhaps the fastest car here. The gentleman that drives this car, well, it's another story, just like the one we talked about with Mike Stefanik. It's a young up-and-comer. Many of the experts refer to this gentleman as the next Richie Evans in modified racing. We're talking about Jeff Fuller, who drives a Superior Processing number 2X. They came here with this race with 2 automobiles. One car they're preparing at this time for the competition. The other will serve as a backup if things don't quite work out the way the team intended it to be. Jeff, you've been out in one warm-up already. It's a different type of atmosphere here today. It's warmer than it has been in the past. The sun is starting to work on the pavement itself. Do you set up the car any different for 200 laps here at Stafford on a hot, sunny Monday afternoon?
You definitely do, Ben. During the afternoon when the sun's on the track, the cars always tend to push. The day hasn't started out too good, as somebody blew a motor going into that corner. We got sideways, we got out of it, but we hit the right rear to it, and somebody spun and we hit the right front to him. So we're getting the car fixed up. They're getting the other car ready to take out in this warm-up here. So you definitely got to set the cars up a little bit different, take a little cross weight out of them, and make a few little extra changes, because the sun on the track is so hot that all these cars are going to be pushing this afternoon if you don't compensate for it.
You know, one of the big questions that we mentioned when we started to talk with you here is the fact that a lot of the experts make a comparison to you with the late and great Richie Evans. That's quite an honor, and I'm sure that's something you're working to strive up to.
Richie Evans, I knew for only a short time, but he was the greatest at what he did. I admire the man, and I hope that I can someday do the same thing that he did.
Well, Jeff Fuller has the talent, he has the equipment, and the right attitude and the right combination. Today, it's going to be put to the test. Ready to go back to green flag racing action here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. The clack has been cleared, and we hope you've enjoyed the interview with Tomano and a look at the competition. Well, a look at the pit area before the competition actually began. They pick up the pace. Look at Mike Stefanik go quickly to the high side. Mike McLaughlin tries to keep it nice and low, and McLaughlin is managing to pick up position number 1. The speed bias being, well, kind of flung through the air as they head down the front straightaway. But look at Brian Ross and Jeff Fuller. Told you Fuller before would be tough to contend with. He goes around Brian Ross and almost looks as if Ross is almost slowing on the racetrack at this point. But Mike McLaughlin still remains a number 1 car out in front. Of course, John Rosati is running 3rd with car number 71. He is right in the back bumper of Mike Stefanik as they head down the back straightaway. Trouble now, car number 28 will go spinning between turns 1 and 2, while McLaughlin still sets the pace, and the number 15 automobile of Mike Stefanik still runs in position number 2. The 28 of Brunnhoelzl will make it away under its own power, and therefore we are still under green flag conditions here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Stefanik has the power to reel him in, but not enough power to go around the Dayglow Orange number 12 automobile, Sherwood Industries machine for Mighty Mike. He's right there contending with him, but he cannot quite get the job done as McLaughlin is still setting the pace in this event. John Rosati is about a car length and a half behind. He possibly is saving something, or possibly there is some type of mechanical problem in Ron Young's Southwick Motor Sales machine. As Corky Cookman is not letting any of the top 3 get out of his sight.
The black flag is once again being shown, and this time it appears for Corky Cookman as he has smoke coming off of the rear deck of the car on lap 29.
No doubt about it, as they come thundering off the turn, John Rosati is starting to reel in once again. But Mighty Mike Stefanik will follow Mike McLaughlin in his quest for position number 1. Number 04, Corky Cookman, is a car that is being black flagged from the competition. Apparently a leak or something on the car that is forcing this unfortunate and timely event to change hands rather suddenly with the likes of Corky Cookman. Meanwhile, Cookman is aware of the black flag situation. He's close to the inside of the racetrack. Cookman, of course, from Green Farms, Connecticut, in the Bubby's Race Chaser machine, is slightly off the pace now. He is honoring the black flag, and he will be heading to the pit area, where his crew will make all the difference in the world. With 31 laps showing, we go to caution here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Once again, the caution comes out. We believe the caution is for something of debris or something that is on the racetrack between turns 1 and 2.
This has been a caution-filled event so far, Ben, as we've run 32 laps on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard, but at least 16 or 18 of them have been under caution, which is very unfortunate because these drivers here want to go green track racing. They don't want to have this yellow flag.
Car number 04, Corky Cookman. This will be a break for him because you remember he was black flag and heading to the pits when the caution came out. Now the black flag is coming out again, and I believe it comes out for car number 22, which has been renumbered from car number 2X, and that, of course, is Jerry Marquis. Still work is going on in the pit area on the Corky Cookman machine, as now you can see the number 22 that we're talking about, the car that was renumbered from 2X. That's Jerry Marquis and the 35 automobile of S.J. Avanson. Avanson is also looking to head to the pit area. The rule here is such that you can move alongside of the pace car or the safety vehicle, but you cannot pass it. The only time you can exit the track is when you're running right with the safety vehicle. And here you will see very shortly the number 2X will head to the infield area once it has reached the approach ramp to pit road, as once again car number 2X is down in pit road. Following the 2X on pit road is the 28 of Brunnhoelzl and the number 35. Single file formation behind the Pontiac Trans Am safety vehicle. Car number 12 is still the man that's setting the pace. The 28 of Brunnhoelzl is back in the pits. This is about his third visit to the pit area, and it appears that they are definitely going to check the tires and make additional adjustments here. In 1985, Brunnhoelzl finished 9th in the Pentax race in the fuel carrier's automobile. He was the third fastest competitor a year ago, also in that event. For the 1986 season, he runs a new R&E Fabrications car, and that car, of course, has been very successful for him in the brown-primered automobile. We'll also be talking with him from out of the pit area and getting some of his thoughts and ideas in an earlier interview with the Brunnhoelzl machine, but that, of course, will be coming up later in this running of the Pentax 200.
So far, no major surprises to me, Ben, as far as the top 4 or 5 car goes. McLaughlin started on the pole. Stefanik on the outside pole. Those 2 cars have run 1-2. While John Rosati, with our in-car camera, we'll be giving you some shots of that later on, is presently running in the 3rd spot. But I think one of the surprises would be Jeff Fuller. He's run very well. He ran well in his qualifying heat, and he has moved into the 4th spot. And in the 5th spot is Brian Ross, who last year won this event. As they'll pick up green flag in turn number 3 and 4, it will be McLaughlin once again, along with Stefanik, but it will be McLaughlin as they come down to the line to complete lap 38. But don't look now, but Jeff Fuller is just slid by Rosati for that 3rd spot, and in the 4th spot now is Ricky Fuller, as John Rosati seems to be having some sort of problem in the Southwick Motor Sales number 71.
Remember early in this event, they were checking that automobile. They thought it might have been leaking something on the racetrack. Car number 73, Brian Ross is coming on strong, and so isn't Kenny Bouchard with car number 3. Fact is, it almost appears now that the number 73 of Ross, the defending winner of this event, has got his share of problems getting hooked up. But now, as we start to gain a little bit in the distance and time, it appears that the car is sticking just a bit harder and better to the racing surface. This battle is occurring right now, which is roughly for a bid for about the 6th, 7th, and 8th position currently at this point in the event. Here's the challenge now. Here's Jim Spencer from Berwick, Pennsylvania. He had moved in, and he was right there on the back bumper of Brian Ross. He's now down underneath Kenny Bouchard. Jim Spencer pulls a timely move to take over yet another position. Kenny Bouchard is forced to get out of it just momentarily. That's Ray Miller with car number 9. Look at Spencer. Spencer's automobile is running almost as if it is running on rails. He can go both high and low on the racetrack, and that seems to be paying off for Mr. Excitement. Remember, Spencer has won events here before at Stafford, including the prestigious Spring Sizzler event of a couple seasons back. Jim Spencer, Berwick, Pennsylvania superstar, who runs so well in the fall events, is the #1 man nationally, and he is running so impressively with that blue at number 24. He continues to dominate in his quest to work to the front of the field. But speaking of domination, it is for car number 12 to be dominating here this afternoon. That's the way it appears so far, as Mike McLaughlin is still out in front. He leads it with 43 laps showing on the scoreboard. Mighty Mike Stefanik is running second. No real challenges developing here. Unofficially in the third spot currently. That is car number 2X for Jeff Fuller, closely followed by his brother, Ricky Fuller, who's sitting in the fourth spot. Fifth is John Rosati, and once again, it appears that Stefanik is now starting to reel in on the back bumper of Mike McLaughlin.
McLaughlin has led all the laps so far as we come down and complete lap 45. McLaughlin, who is presently fifth on the NASCAR modified tour standings, but he's only about 180 points out of the lead. So any of the top men falter, such as Jamie Tomeno has already done, McLaughlin could stand to pick up some valuable dollars here.
Valuable dollars is what it's all about, and there's a lot of money up for grabs in this prestigious event. We told you before, $41,000 will be posted in the running of this event, and the first place finisher, if he's equipped with all the right ingredients, will be taking home over $6,100 for his efforts. Not a bad job for an individual for a Sunday afternoon piece of work. But this event is a big event. It is associated with all the major companies, and it has attracted all the very, very best. The black flag run rapid here at the Speedway, but 47 laps, 200 and now complete. Mike McLaughlin is your leader. Mike Stefanik is still running second. Jeff Fuller runs third. Ricky Fuller is in the fourth spot. And that's the way they currently stand here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
McLaughlin continues to set the pace as they head down the long back straightaway as the black flag has come out for John Hoffman and the J&J Hoffman Racing Enterprises #1.
Well, Mike McLaughlin is not faltering a bit. He has maintained that lead for several circuits around this half-mile facility. Mike Stefanik tried to make a bid for it in turn 1 with an aggressive bold move there, and that move cost him about 2 positions in his quest to get to that #1 spot. Off the 4th turn, down to the line, it still remains car number 12. Mike McLaughlin is your lead automobile. Mike Stefanik is still running a strong second. Challenges are expected to come later in the event. There's the Hoffman machine with the black flag. As you can see, it appears to be an overheating situation there. Another independent runner trying his skills here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. But Mike McLaughlin comes up on lap traffic. That's Mike Capacetti, number 14. Directly behind him, it is still Mike Stefanik, who looks very, very strong in the first turn. If you think you're going to see a challenge, I believe it will occur in that first turn. That appears to be the weakest point for Mike McLaughlin. But McLaughlin is still setting a blistering pace in this event with 51 laps showing in the scoreboard. He is not faltering a bit, and he is definitely not falling to the pressures of the challenge that is being applied to him in his quest to get to the front of the pack by Mighty Mike Stefanik, driver of car number 15. Stefanik's got plenty of horsepower, and watch the number 2X. The 2X automobile is, of course, Jeff Fuller. His brother Rick Fuller is directly behind him. Remember, we were talking earlier that the Fuller brothers were out in full force here tonight, and Mike McLaughlin apparently has a problem. The leader has lost an engine in turn 1. Mike McLaughlin spins the Sherwood Industries Sherry Cup machine in a puff of smoke in turn number 1, just as Mike Stefanik had taken over the lead. Heartbreaking situation here for Billy Carrazzo and the crew of the Sherwood Industries racing operation, as Mike McLaughlin apparently losing an engine with the number 12 automobile after leading this event for some 52 laps around the half-mile facility. And now it appears that the Wiley's towing service record is going to push the McLaughlin machine back to the pit area, where his crew will be very dejected and very disappointed after this car was running so strong and so impressive. Remember, this particular team also piloted the winning automobile that won the prestigious KM2 Race of Champions a year ago at Pocono. It was then driven by Brett Bodine. Mike McLaughlin, as we said, with the number 12 from New Britain, Connecticut, had led this event and ran so strong for 51 or 52 circuits around the half mile here at the Speedway. And now it all ends rather suddenly with an engine letting go in this car that looked like such a strong contender to take down a victory here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. But Mighty Mike Stefanik had just passed, of course, and had taken over the lead, and that is going to work to his liking. On pit road, what you can't see, now you are adjusting to it, is car number 21. That, of course, is Greg Sachs. Sachs is a former champion here at the Speedway. He once dominated the racing action. He moved to Grand National competition. It has worked well for him at times, but at other times it's been extremely difficult. But Greg Sachs is into the pits area. The Southern New England Egg Art Berry automobile is heading back out. And ironically, we were talking about Brett Bodine. This car is a car that Brett Bodine also won at Martinsville in. There's the number 75, the car that was involved in the first mix-up here this afternoon. That's the Pastriac Racing Enterprises car, the Coors Silver Bullet automobile. And that car is still being worked on. It had severe sheet metal damage, and now they are working on the back end there. Of course, these laps under caution prove to give the crews, like the Pastriac crew, that have their share of problems, a little bit of an extra edge or a little bit of an extra opportunity for some breathing room to make those proper repairs that could be crucial and helpful. Here's George Brunnhoelzl with car 28 again. He has not had a good day whatsoever with that automobile, and he is heading into the pits. He mentioned in a pre-race interview that Friday night, of course, they won here at Stafford. Saturday night, they weren't quite as lucky, and today, hopefully, that would all change. But apparently, that has not changed for the West Babylon, New York competitor, the driver of car number 28. They're jacking up the back end of that car, and they're going to be checking what we refer to as the wedge in the automobile, checking the tire circumference too. They'll check the air pressures before they'll send car number 28 back out on the racing surface here today. The automobile is brown primered in color. The reason for that being, it is a new car for George Brunnhoelzl, even though, as he said before, it has already won one race event here at the Speedway. But it is a car that is definitely an outstanding car to keep your eyes on in this event. Actually, it had two feature event wins. The first came way back on June 20th, and the other one came just the other night here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
You know, Ben, as you look out, you see a lot of interesting sights. The people certainly seem to be enjoying themselves on this beautiful Monday afternoon here, Labor Day. We have completed 56 laps as they continue to clean up the track for the blown motor of Mike McLaughlin in turn one, which has been where most of the action has been today. As you get a look of the super crowd here at the Stafford Speedway for the running of the 17th annual Pentax 200.
Well, definitely, there is a capacity crowd in attendance here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and that's pretty much been the story all year long here at this beautiful racetrack in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. You know, it's a very unique racetrack. Believe it or not, it started out as a horse facility at a fairground. It was purchased in the 60s by a gentleman by the name of Jack Garoot, and they built what we now know and love as the Stafford Motor Speedway. No matter where you go, up and down the East Coast or from east to west here, the Stafford Motor Speedway is a track that is talked about and discussed as one of the premier race facilities in the country. A real credit to the Speedway owner, Jack Garoot, and the promoter of this facility, the general manager, Mr. Ed Yarrington. The number U2, Ricky Fuller, is also indefinitely in contention in this event, of course. The Ricky Fuller automobile in 1985, he finished in the 11th spot while running this event. He also is driving the U2, the Universal Auto Salvage car, and as we said before, it looks like the flagman is giving them the white flag, which indicates in one more lap we are going to go back to green flag racing conditions. A car that seems to be one of the cars that we should really keep our eyes on is the number 24 automobile of Jim Spencer. Now, Spencer, as we mentioned before, is running up front nationally in the point standings, but he has gained several positions on the racetrack, and now starter Chris Hopkins is calling for yet another lap or two around the half mile here before we're set to go back to green flag racing action. There you can see it. There's the Rick Fuller machine, that red, white, and blue Universal Auto Salvage car. It's a Troyer chassis race car by design. So isn't the number 24, Jim Spencer. The Black 2X, the chassis was manufactured by a gentleman by the name of Tuck Hoffman. There are basically only 3 or 4 different chassis combinations in this event. Of course, the more popular chassis for 1986 has become the Nazowitz Richie Evans style chassis. Of course, the late great Richie Evans, noted national modified champion and by far the most respected the most talented driver of them all ever to hit the modified scene. Well, the combination that's working for Mike Stefanik up front is a copy of one of those chassis. The 2X automobile is a Tuck-Hoffman chassis, another known chassis, the Troyer combination, and the chassis dynamics combination. That combination is put to the test now. We go back to green flag racing action. Mighty Mike Stefanik, who set fast time, a new track record, is definitely out in front and starting to pull away. Ricky Fuller is looking very strong. He has went around Jeff Fuller. It appeared that before the caution, Jeff Fuller was much stronger than he is now. But there is your leader, car number 15, Mike Stefanik. He is leading the field off the full turn and looking very, very impressive at that. And Ricky Fuller has got that U2 right there at his back bumper, and it appears that the Universal Auto Salvage machine is starting to reel him in. That is a Troyer-built race car. It was actually built right down the street from the Stafford Motor Speedway at a fabrication shop called Fine Line Speed and Fabrication. And today, here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, that particular automobile is really putting on an impressive show and is moving in on Mike Stefanik. Now, strategy definitely has a factor in this program. And when you talk to the drivers in the pit area, they would tell you that the majority of them stated that they would not really run at top speeds. Trouble now down the back straightaway. Lloyd Agar loses an engine with car number 78, one of the back of the pack markers in this event. Car 78, Lloyd Agar, loses an engine. Chris Hopkins has put up the caution flag, and you can see the Agar machine with smoke coming out of the back end is setting behind pit wall, and it looks like we've got yet another caution. With 63 laps showing on the scoreboards, cautions have been the real story here this afternoon.
Agar did a real fine job, Ben, of keeping that car low on the track and not spreading the oil and water all over the entire back straightaway and corners, which could have really made the track quite slick as the leaders were coming by there. So Agar, even though he did lose a motor, he could have helped prevent another accident if he had let the water and oil go further up onto the track. So a fine job by Agar keeping the car low on this half-mile speedway. We are about set to go back to green flag racing here, and it will be Ricky Fuller leading them into turns number 3 and 4. Second is Mike Stefanik. Third is Jeff Fuller. Fourth is Jimmy Spencer. And fifth is John Rosati. And the green flag has come back out, and Ricky Fuller got quite a jump off of that third turn coming down for the green. As they head into the first turn, it will be Ricky Fuller, followed by Stefanik, as Jimmy Spencer, who's rapidly been moving up, has reeled in the third spot as he'll look down the rear deck of Michael Stefanik.
Car number 20 has run himself to the back of the pack and worked his way to the front, but Ricky Fuller still leads. Mike Stefanik is right there on his back bumper in his quest to pick up a few spots. There's Wayne Miller, car number 9, and directly behind him we see the number 3 automobile. That, of course, is Kenny Bouchard. Bouchard taking over the Len Bowler car. There's the West Hartford Tool Die 73 and Brian Ross, the defending winner, and right behind him it is John Rosati and the 28 of Brunnhoelzl. Remember, Brunnhoelzl has been to the pits on several occasions, but he's looking very smart and very quick here this afternoon. Car number 24 is the 24 of Jim Spencer. He has went around Jeff Fuller, and now Fuller is trying to battle back to try to take over that spot. They come off the turn nice and low, but by the time they reach 3/4 of the way down the front straightaway, they are high, wide, and handsome. And the next turn, we see that Spencer gets a good bite coming off the turn, and that bite is worth at least 2 car lengths over the number 2X automobile of Jeff Fuller. Fuller is still trying to fight back, though, but he is not working that well, and those are the top 4 automobiles. The U2 is your leader for Rick Fuller. Second place still remains the number 15 of Mike Stefanik. Remember, he once led this event with Jim Spencer still running in the 3rd spot, and 4th spot is still the number 2X of Jeff Fuller. Then it is car number 73 running in the 5th position, and 6th is the number 71 of John Rosati. That, of course, is our camera car. And then we go to the 28 of Brunnhoelzl. It is running there, but we believe that car is down at least 1 lap, if not more. And Brunnhoelzl is trying to make up on a lot of very valuable lost time.
A note of interest here, Ben, we've completed 77 laps, and we have already lost 13 of the original 30 starters here, so the attrition rate is quite high, and we're not even to the halfway marker in this race yet. As you can see now, Ricky Fuller continues to lead. Mike Stefanik is 2nd. Jimmy Spencer 3rd. Jeff Fuller fourth, and he seems to be slipping off of the pace a little bit, while brother Rick seems to be slowing the pace down, maybe conserving his fuel on his tires, as Spencer is reeled in Stefanik, and he in turn is reeled in the rear deck of Ricky Fuller.
But it still remains the universal auto salvage machine for car number U2, Rick Fuller, to be the number one car on the racetrack and to lead cars heads down the back straightaway. Mike Stefanik is still running second with car number 15. He is maintaining that number 2 spot, and as he said before, if he was saving something, we'll probably won't see it show up until the second half of this event. 80 laps are now shown on the scoreboard here. Very shortly we'll be approaching the halfway point in this event. Remember, a year ago it was 100 laps due to the fact that they brought the cars of the Northern NASCAR Tour in to run the other 100 laps, and the format has changed back to its originality as a major modified event, with 200 laps being the longest distance event of the 1986 season here at Stafford Motor Speedway. There's the Brunnhoelzl car that we believe is at least 1 or 2 laps down due to the fact that it has been to the pits on several occasions. As of now, there is John Rosati still putting pressure on the Brian Ross, number 73. That battle is occurring for the 6th and 7th spots on the racetrack. Rosati is trying, but can't quite discover the magical combination that will enable him to pick up a spot from car 73.
Rosati seems to be having a little bit of tire wear as he comes off at the corners, and you can see the rear end slip and slide a little bit as he tries to pick up the ground on Flying Brian Ross, last year's winner in this event.
Well, the ground that he is in search of is not going to come very easily, and they are really running quite impressively in this event. There you see Rick Fuller still out in front. He is leading this event by now, and we've got another engine letting go on the front straightaway area, and it looks like it is going to be one of the SK cars, car number 14X. That, of course, is Mike Capacetti. Capacetti losing an engine just coming off that 4th turn, and you can see the parade of oil and liquid on the front straightaway area that is going to make things a little difficult. And once again, we are under caution here in this Pentax 200 event.
I'll tell you, Ben, it's quite warm here, even though the weatherman wasn't calling for as warm temperatures as we had. It is a little bit humid here, and the temperature on the track gets heated up very quickly, and these motors can be exploded very easily. $15,000 worth of motors can go up very quick here.
Well, the Ferrari safety crew is really getting a workout in this event. They have spread speedy dry all through the racetrack. Here's car number 73, Brian Ross, the defending champion, and of course a former track champion here at the Speedway, puts the West Hartford tool and die machine into the pit area. Car number 73, watch the action here. They're going to change the tires and put fuel in on the number 73 automobile. And this is a strategy that we were talking about before. Right behind him, that red and white nose that you see, is the Ray Miller machine, which is also into the pits. The West Hartford Tool and Die crew is still working. Some final adjustments are being made, and it appears that they are changing the right front tire on car number 73. For Ray Miller's car, it is a different story. It looks like a right rear will be the tires change as Bear and Company are working on the number 9 machine. That, of course, is 2 other cars that were considered front-running cars that are into the pits during this event. Car number 76 is Tommy Bowles is coming back out. The 35, S.J. Avanson and Jeff Fuller, another front-runner, is also heading back out. And now we're going to go once again to more interviews from out of our pit area. If you had to look at the list of heavy favorites in the Pentax 200, no doubt about it, the name that comes to the top of the list is Flying Brian Ross. He is the defending track champion here at the Stafford Motor Speedway and truly an outstanding competitor. He is by far one of the more popular drivers on the circuit in 1986, and he has done it all. He has won major events up and down the East Coast, and the West Hartford Tool and Die number 73 is among the fastest cars in the pit area. Running in the low 18-second bracket, it is going to be tough to beat here for the 200-lap grind. Brian, we noticed that you were working on the engine on the car before. Your pit crew members told me that the car is running as strong, if not stronger, than it has run all season long. What seems to be the problem beneath the hood of the West Hartford Tool 73?
Well, there's one rocker arm I didn't like the looks of it. They'd probably go the distance, but when you come to a race like this, you don't take a chance on anything. It's got a little chip on the edge of one of the rollers, and I don't think it's anything to worry about, but I want to get it out of there so we don't have to worry about it.
The distance of 200 laps, some say that these are the type of races that Brian Ross likes the best. You can somewhat pace yourself and then move in for the kill at the end and dominate the racing action. Is that your strategy, or is it just fan rumor?
Well, I guess that's kind of the way I go, Ben. You got to be around at the end to win these races, you know, and I try to play my hand that way. I like to stay in contention all the time, but I don't like to use the car up in the early stages. My car goes good at the end of the race, so I try to save what I can to have something left to go for it at the end, and it's always paid off for me.
Well, no question about it, Brian Ross is going to be among your leading competitors here this afternoon. Look for the orange of the 73 in Winston Victory Lane here in Pentax competition. There's a lot going on this Pentax 200. Here in the pit area, car number 71, a front runner and two-time Riverside Park Winston Racing Series champion, John Rosati, is preparing for the distance. Today, this automobile has been equipped with a special camera. Hopefully, we'll provide you with great coverage of the actual competition and what it's like to sit behind the wheel of a car running speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour, closer than most people park. John Rosati was out in the first practice session here today when an unfortunate situation took place in a turn number 1. The number 91 of Gilda Birdie, the only female competitor here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, came in contact with Brad Highteller's machine, and John Rosati had no place to go. The car received some damage to the back end, and we've got most of it on footage. John Rosati and his crew have let us put the camera in his automobile to be a part of the excitement, the thrills, and the agony of defeat, but hopefully for Rosati, it'll be success here this afternoon. John, your car is the camera car, and it's set up. Does it make any difference? Does the extra weight, does it hinder the operation for car number 71 at all?
No, the camera doesn't weigh that much, so it's not going to hurt the car at all.
John, the car itself, it's tough when you come here, you're all pumped up, you're ready to go, you go out in the first warm-up, and Lady Luck casts, well, a blanket on you, and you already discover that there'll be some damage done to the machine. Was the damage severe? And what does it do to the crew who have worked so hard to prepare it for this big event?
Well, for the crew, it just made a little extra work. We think we got the car pretty well squared away again, but, you know, it's just a letdown to them, but they don't even show it. They just come in here and just start working on the car, tearing it apart, and getting it all back together again. And we're all prepared to go again. Just hopefully that none of the stuff got cracked or stressed, because there's so many heim joints and stuff in the car that can take a beating that you can't see. We've checked them as close as we could by eye, but, you know, they may let you down halfway through the race.
John Rosati will be looking strong here this afternoon. Among the competitors that he'll be competing with, who do you think? A list of the toughest that'll be strong to contend with when the checkered flag will wave.
Here at Stafford, all the cars are top-running cars. Everybody here has a chance to win. Just the cream of the crop just show up here, so every man has a good shot of winning.
John Rosati is saying you have to be the best to run with the best, and that's what John Rosati is. Today, it'll be put to the test for the 200-lap race. We have checked with the scorers here at the Speedway, and believe it or not, even though the number 28 has been in the pit area on several occasions, it has not lost a lap, and that is going to be the story in this event. George Brunnhoelzl, who told us earlier in the pit area that he felt confident after some problems with the car last night, and Brunnhoelzl is now running in the second spot with that primer number 28. Third is the number 71 of John Rosati, and fourth is Kenny Bouchard with car number 3. And it looks like we are going to go to green at this time. Mike Stefanik, who's not visited the pitch yet. George Brunnhoelzl, who's been there on several occasions. John Rosati and the number 3. The story is about the same there for them. And now we're going to go back to green flag racing. 89-lap show on the scoreboard. Off the fourth turn. There you see it once again. Mike Stefanik is out in front with the number 15. George Brunnhoelzl is trying to reel him in, but it doesn't appear that it's going to happen in this circuit. A lot of speedy dry flying as they head down the back straightaway once again. Now look at Brian Ross. He's coming to the front of the field with Ricky Fuller right there in his back bumper. This could be the story in this event. Rick Fuller and Brian Ross pitted. They came back out, and they are flying on the racetrack, and just as fast as they are in their search for position, Mike Stefanik gets sideways. It is still slick on the racetrack coming down the front straightaway. Watch what's going to happen here. George Brunnhoelzl has moved to the outside of Mike Stefanik. Stefanik is down low. Possibly what we thought is oil is not going to be the story here. George Brunnhoelzl works his way to the outside, and George Brunnhoelzl takes over the lead. But the slick spot is going to be in turn number 1. He is okay, but he makes it by with no problem at all. Stefanik definitely does have a problem. Kelly Bouchard moves up to second now. Meanwhile, Greg Sachs goes to the outside. Sachs is flying. Superman's got his cape back, and he will contend with Stefanik as they come off the turn. Down the long straightaway and deep into turn number 1.
It appears that Stefanik is definitely having some sort of tire trouble here as his car just is not sticking to the racetrack as it does. And Greg Sachs and Brian Ross head by Stefanik in turn number 4, and here comes John Rosati, Ricky Fuller, and Jeff Fuller.
No doubt about it. They are coming on very strong, but there is definitely a problem in the Mike Stefanik number 15. It led the event. It ran up front all afternoon, and now it is dropping back position after position on each and every circuit here at the Speedway. George Brunnhoelzl is the number 1 car on the racetrack with car number 28. Running in the number 2 spot is Kenny Bouchard with car number 3. Fourth is the 21 of Greg Sachs. Here is Brian Ross putting a bid down underneath the Sachs machine. Sachs maintains his position with ease, and Brian Ross drops back 1. Now remember that Brian Ross had fitted for those tires, and evidently those tires are becoming the magical combination here. 96 laps are showing. Soon they will be at the halfway point in less than 3 circuits now. And then, as we said before, that tells it all here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Look at Brian Ross now. He's still trying to go to the outside. This is a battle that is shaping up for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Kenny Bouchard is holding down that number 2 position. Now you can see Ross still rim riding as Greg Sachs sees an opening on the inside. Look at Kenny Bouchard, gets a tremendous bite off the turn and still tries to maintain his spot, but Greg Sachs takes it in deeper than most. They come off the turn, and Sachs has picked up the spot. Brian Ross wastes no time at all. He sees that door open rather suddenly, and he darts in, and he will now pick up position number 3. Brian Ross has got the 3rd spot, and 4th now becomes the number 3 of Kenny Bouchard. Greg Sachs from the middle of the pack. He pitted, and he came back, and he is looking stronger than ever. He is about to hunt down and look for the number 1 position that is currently held down by car number 28. George Brunnhoelzl is your lead automobile. With 99 laps, they're coming to lap number 100 by this time as they head to the stripe.
And it will be George Brunnhoelzl leading the 100th and halfway marker in this race. And Ricky Fuller is trying to put a move on Kenny Bouchard as they head into turn number 1, but it will be to no avail this time by. And John Rosati has a battle going on with Jeff Fuller as Fuller sneaks by. As you can see, Fuller has moved up to the rear deck of his brother's number U2. Jimmy Spencer, who also went to the pits on the last caution, has come back, and he is presently in the 7th spot, while it appears that Butch Uris, in the number 73, is having his problems. He is the one who brought out the caution with a flat tire.
Remember earlier we talked about tires. We're seeing exactly what those tires mean. Keep your eyes on that U2 of Ricky Fuller. That car was leading the event. Under caution, it went to the pit area, and they put fresh rubber on the car. Now he is wheeling in on the back bumper of a car that doesn't have the new tires on it. That, of course, is Kenny Bouchard's number 3. Lenny Bowler, who is the Dean of Race Car Builders, is the man who, of course, is the owner of car number 3. Mike McLaughlin drove this car successfully last year, and you can see Stefanik has definitely got some type of a handling problem. You know, what we refer to as oil on the racetrack earlier possibly could have been something in the suspension starting to work loose or start to readjust itself for Mike Stefanik. And if that is the case, Stefanik is hoping for a caution to come soon when everything could change in this event for him and the magical team of course, Stefanik and the Casella wood chopper operation. There's S.J. Avanchin, and look at Ricky Fuller. He puts 2 wheels down on the lower apron, completely flat part of the racetrack here at Stafford, to try to bid and get around Kenny Bouchard. Bouchard holds the groove nicely, and now Jim Spencer moves in. Jeff Fuller is behind them. Here's the way they stand on lap number 105. George Brunnhoelzl, your leader. Greg Sachs is running 2nd. Brian Ross is 3rd currently. And 4th is the number 3 automobile of Kenny Bouchard. Here is another battle that we've been talking about. Behind the number 3 is Ricky Fuller. A tap to the bumper, and yet another caution in this event comes out. And this caution comes out, we believe, for possibly some type of debris or something that is on the racing surface at this time. Liquids leaking on the racetrack have really become a problem in this program here this afternoon with 106 laps showing.
This is the caution that Mike Stefanik needed, Ben, as he was rapidly going backwards on the track. as his car will be coming in for the pits. John Rosati elects to stay out, as does Ricky Fuller, Jeff Fuller, and Jimmy Spencer. But some of the action will be shifted into the pits for Mike Stefanik. We have completed 107 laps here, and the leader continues to be George Brunnhoelzl. This has been a caution-filled event with at least half of the laps being run under caution here. In fact, there have been a total of 8 cautions so far. Some for spins, while many have been, I think it was 3, Ben, for blown motors here.
Yes, it has. And, of course, the engine problem was greatly a factor here this afternoon. Of course, the first of the front-running cars to lose an engine was Mike McLaughlin. There's Mike Stefanik, who's heading back out. And look at a mad scramble for cars that wish to head to the pit area. Here's John Rosati with car number 71. The Rosati automobile is heading down pit road. That's the Ron Young Stafford Motor Sales machine. It is a Billy Nazarowicz chassis car also, and as you can see, Rosati's crew, headed by Barry Cannell, one of the more respected pit crew chiefs in the business, is changing a right rear tire on car number 71. You can see him make those adjustments to the right rear, and now the man, as we said, who has led this event, car number 28, George Brunnhoelzl, is your leader. And now we'll go to that interview that we promised you with the Brunnhoelzl number 28. The gentleman that we're going to be talking with next won the last Friday night event at the Stafford Motor Speedway for the 1986 season. George Brunnhoelzl changed cars midway through the season. He went from one manufacturer's line to another. The combination seemed to pay off, and George Brunnhoelzl is truly one of the shining stars here this afternoon. George, 1986, it's getting stronger for you. A win last Friday night. Do you think you can do it again today?
I feel we can if the car is right. This race determines a lot of luck and tires, and you just got to stay out of trouble for 200 laps.
The car you won Friday night with, did you have to dismantle it and re-put it back together to prepare it and check all those little things that could become costly during a 200-lap grind?
Well, after Friday night when we won, we did go over the whole car, but unfortunately we had trouble Saturday night when we ran, and once again we went over the whole car again this morning. It don't take much to last you up. It could be a little silly thing.
It sure could be. One of the things that a lot of the race fans don't realize is that for George Brunnhoelzl, this Labor Day weekend has been, well, one track to another. There's no time in between. They'll visit a borrowed garage and dismantle the car and put it all back together. It's not easy to run today in modified racing, run for the points, or just to go out there and hit all the big events.
No, it's not easy. Nowadays, it requires almost a full-time crew and a lot of money because you're always traveling. Like this particular weekend, we ran here Friday night, and then we had to be at Oswego at 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, we had Sunday off, but then you got to work on the car, and then you got to be back here Monday morning at 8 o'clock.
George Brunnhoelzl has come along.
We are back to green flag racing, and it is Brian Ross who is trying to put a move on George Brunnhoelzl, as they heard, head into the second turn down the back straightaway, but it will be Brunnhoelzl as he'll hold off Ross on the inside in the third position. Ricky Fuller, while fourth is his brother Jeff, who goes by him as they heard it, head into the first turn.
Well, the Fuller brothers got their own little private act going on, and Ricky Fuller tries to keep it nice and low, but Jeff Fuller has moved alongside, and he has picked up yet another position. Now Jim Spencer is working his way to the outside of Ricky Fuller. Spencer, high, wide, and handsome off turn number 4. He tries to reel him in once again, but suddenly the door is closed, and Ricky Fuller will continue to maintain position number 4. Lead car still remains at 28. Brian Ross is right there to contend. Ross takes a peek at the inside, but is cautiously awaiting that one wrong move that could put Ross into the number 1 position to add his name to the list of different leaders in this Pentax 200 format. Down the back straightaway, as we said before, it still remains car number 28 for George Brunnhoelzl. He is your number 1 car coming off the turn with Brian Ross right there on his back bumper. Ross is trying to keep it in single file formation, and as we said before, if he is going to charge, it will come late in the event. He discussed that with us in the pit area earlier in a pre-race interview on how impressive it would be for him to plan his strategy for this program. And he said, I choose to run stronger during the final 50 circuits around this tough half-mile race facility. A threesome, it almost appears to be. Now it is. It is the Fuller brothers being challenged by Mike Stefanik. Stefanik tries to keep it nice and low, coming thundering off the turn. Jeff Fuller right there to contend. You can see how close they are as they come down the front straightaway. Mighty Mike Stefanik almost had it for a minute, but close doesn't count. It only counts in horseshoes, and this is definitely not the game here. Mighty Mike Stefanik keeps it nice and low, coming off the turn. Jeff Fuller is on the high side. At the stripe, it appears that they're almost evenly matched. In the turn number 1, it's the same type of a situation here, but that all changes rapidly. Coming off turn number 2, Mike Stefanik has picked up another spot from Jeff Fuller. He will maintain his position as 138 laps are complete in the 200-lap grind.
It seems whatever problem that Mike Stefanik had, his pit crew was able to cure when he went in on that last caution. So the pit crews here are very underrated, but yet their work is the most appreciated for these drivers.
Appreciated it is, and it could become the big difference between first and second. And the name of this game is to win, not to finish in the number 2 spot or any of the spots that follow. You can see now that Jeff Fuller cannot quite find enough to come back in to contend. But there is your leader, car number 28. George Brunnhoelzl still setting a blistering pace, as the number 73 automobile is still running a very, very strong second. And Jim Spencer is starting to reel in, but he is not as close as he would like to be. But for Brian Ross, he is really coming on stronger. I think Ross is getting stronger almost each and every circuit. Watch lap number 150, because from that point on is where Brian Ross told us that he was even going to get quicker.
It appeared that Brunnhoelzl got a little squirrely coming off of turn number 4 there, and he might be developing a tire problem. As you can see, Ross reeling in the number 28 of Brunnhoelzl, who has led a good portion of the race here.
He certainly has. The West Hartford Tool and Die cars won this event and won the 1986 Spring Sizzler. He's running a very, very strong second, but he is moving in, and there is, of course, plenty of time left. You know, if this was a regular Friday night event here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, it would have been 30 laps in distance. There is more than 50 to go, so you know, if you've seen the competition here at Stafford before, that Ross can do it. He has come from the back to the front on many of the Friday night events that we've seen during the last year and this year, and he is definitely closing it up. It is about, well, we'll call it 3 or 4 car lengths between him now and the Ross automobile, and Ross is hot. He is flying. The Brian Ross machine is definitely among the hot cars to contend with for the final laps here in this event, as lap 145 is on the scoreboard. It is George Brunnhoelzl, your leader. Brian Ross is running second. Jim Spencer has come on a very, very strong third, and fourth is the number U2 automobile, followed by the 15 of Stefanik and the number 2X machine of Jeff Fuller. Tony Giancowiak, you can see he can move in on him, but he can't quite get through. You see the right rear, it almost appeared to be steam coming off, and that is actual smoke, as he is wringing the right rear tire, a common expression for these types of race cars. And if that happens and you create a blister in the tire, it's going to cost you dearly before the finish of this event. We are soon to be approaching 3/4 of the way complete, with 170 laps showing on the scoreboard. The rest of this event is going to be a regular 30-lap grind for most of these competitors, and that's what they're used to running here at Stafford, 30 laps on a Friday night. So let's see what's going to happen for the final 29 now as the laps continue to tick away.
Jimmy Spencer almost lost it as they came off of turn 4, and John Rosati is reeling him in rapidly. Rosati, who has been running near the middle of the pack in the 6th, 7th, 8th position most of the day, is looking to put a move on Jimmy Spencer for that 4th spot. So Spencer again bobbles as he comes off of turn 4 to complete lap 172.
John Rosati is right there. Now Rosati goes to the outside. Rosati makes it look so easy, and John Rosati picks up another spot. John Rosati has moved into contention here. John Rosati has worked his way to contend. He is now flying. Jim Spencer tries to follow him, and of course your lead car still remains car number 28. Second is still Brian Ross in the 73. Third is currently the number U2 automobile, and fourth is the 71. Jeff Fuller's 2X is on pit road. That car ran up front, but Jeff Fuller apparently having some type of a problem. He sets on pit road with 174 laps showing on our scoreboard here at the Speedway.
Mike Stefanik has moved in to the 6th spot, and he begins to reel in Jimmy Spencer. So Spencer should really hope that a caution comes out here, because he is losing ground rapidly. As again, you can see him almost sideways, dirt track styling, as he goes into the first and fourth turns.
You know, we talked so much about caution early in the event. There was no question about it that individuals like Brian Ross and John Rosati and Rick Fuller would love to see a caution right about now, because that would kind of close things up a bit. And for some, like Jimmy Spencer, it would give them the opportunity to head through the pit area and get the tires, and maybe the adjustment of a turn or two that could make a tremendous difference in this event. But George Brunnhoelzl, he is your #1 car on the racetrack, 184 laps around this particular half-mile facility. He is now history and over with, and George Brunnhoelzl is looking like he is more than a sure shoe-in to win this event. If there are no cautions, it would be extremely tough for Brian Ross to reel him in, because now there are less than 15 laps remaining in this Pentax 200 here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
Now that the drivers have gone racing, we have seen a lot of good racing here, Ben. A lot of swapping of the 3rd and 4th position, the 5th and 6th position. And Kenny Bouchard now is beginning to make a move on the number 15 of Stefanik. So Stefanik, who's had problems all day long, whether it be tire or motor problems, continues to go backwards here at the Stafford 200.
No doubt about it. It appears that Stefanik is just trying to hold on and pick up, well, whatever points he will be able to assume. Kenny Bouchard has run well. He was a contender and a threat at one point. It doesn't appear to be the same situation at this point in the event. He also could be just pacing himself in search of maintaining the points. Bouchard, of course, a very noted front-running competitor that you'll definitely find running right up front for many a season to come. He is definitely among the truly outstanding competitors. Now, there's something you don't see very often. George Brunnhoelzl is lapping Jimmy Spencer, and Brunnhoelzl is absolutely flying. He said it all changed for him Friday night. It did not work well at Oswego for him on Saturday night, but tonight, or today, it is going to be the George Brunnhoelzl story here at the Speedway, and it looks like this time when they head to the start-finish line area, they're going to get the 10-to-go signal, and the final 10 circuits could put George Brunnhoelzl into the winner's circle with back-to-back victories here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
And Brian Ross has just put now another lap on Jimmy Spencer. So Spencer is going down 1 lap to the 1st and 2nd place drivers right here as we head into turn number 3. Brunnhoelzl is also putting a lap on George Kenton, number 7, as Brian Ross bobbles just a bit off of turn number 4. So it appears that Ross is having mechanical problems, most likely tire problems.
Well, there's another battle going on, and it's for the 3rd spot. It's one that you're not seeing right now, but it is certainly an impressive one. Brian Ross is running a comfortable 2nd, but the battle is between Ricky Fuller and John Rosati. Now, John Rosati is moving in on Ricky Fuller at this point. As you're watching the Brian Ross machine come through traffic, that is your 2nd place race car. There's the battle that we were talking about. John Rosati, with the number 71, is about, well, a car length and a half behind the number U2 of Ricky Fuller. Fuller is still holding on to his 3rd position, but look at John Rosati move to the outside. Now he's just trying to stabilize the car and keep in direct formation behind the number U2. Rosati is running a very, very good 4th. At this point, he is looking for that 3rd spot, while Brunnhoelzl is leading 7 more times around, and George Brunnhoelzl is going to have himself the victory. Here's John Rosati. Jim Spencer, a lap car, is right in the line of fire. Ricky Fuller makes it by. John Rosati is forced to back out of it just momentarily. He will try to take it back once again, as he is now trying to reel back in. It is car number U2 still holding on to the 3rd spot, with John Rosati running a very, very strong 4th at this point in the event. And Rosati is still trying to work him over just a bit. Final 5 laps. George Brunnhoelzl is literally gone out in front. He is about half a straightaway's distance ahead of the number 73 of Brian Ross. And look at Rosati, still not giving up. Rosati now, his strongest point appears to be setting up for turn 4. And now the U2 is still running very, very strong, coming up on car number 7. That is George Kent's machine. The number 7 car is George Kent, who's just trying to ride out this one for the points. Rosati cannot quite move in and contend as good as he would probably like to, but he's still going to give it his best.
He certainly is, and that is the true mark of a champion, Ben. John Rosati, who's always been a very good competitor here in the modified division, but until recently, he's really come into his own. I mean, 2 straight track championships at Riverside Park, and now he is putting the nose under, but to no avail, as they will come by to complete lap 198. 2 laps to go in the Stafford Pentax 200.
Well, with 2 laps to go, the final 2 are going to be the toughest for Ricky Fuller and John Rosati. George Brunnhoelzl is definitely the number 1 car to contend with. The white flag is out. 1 more circuit around, and it will be history. And George Brunnhoelzl has secured a victory here at the prestigious Stafford Motor Speedway. Brunnhoelzl is going to make it 2 wins. He won Friday night, and now he's done it here at Stafford. The fans are on the edge of their seats in anticipation. And, of course, George Brunnhoelzl has secured another victory here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Brian Ross is in for 2nd. The U2 of Ricky Fuller will finish in the 3rd spot, and 4th will be the number 71. And that, of course, is car number 71 for John Rosati. The brown primered automobile that had a lot of hard luck during the beginning circuits, but a lot of great pit strategy and a real great run here for this beautiful automobile as it will head to victory lane. George Brunnhoelzl, his crew is coming out now, and this number 28 machine is the winner of the running of this year's Pentax 200 here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
You know, Ben, that's something that we really don't talk about enough, is the pit crew members for any of the cars here. They are so important. This is their time to shine, and they really shone brightly today for George Brunnhoelzl as he constantly kept battling back with tire problems and chassis problems to get the car set, and he now sits in victory lane.
Here's the final results for the Pentax 200. 1st, George Brunnhoelzl. 2nd, Brian Ross. 3rd, Ricky Fuller. And 4th, John Rosati. We'll try to give you more of the finish once it has officially been compiled by the scorers here at the Speedway. His crew is ecstatic. They are all very up for this one. It is a prestigious event to win. Friday night's event was a big event for Brunnhoelzl, but this one is the Cadillac of them all, and Brunnhoelzl and company are truly deserving of the victory here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
So, Ben, it puts a cap on a long day, but for George Brunnhoelzl, that trip to West Babylon, New York today will seem very enjoyable as he picked up $6,100 plus contingency money, which could boost his earnings here.
Well, there is the victory kiss to his lovely wife, and George Brunnhoelzl will be on the Winston podium. The Pentax 200 here at Stafford is now history, and Brunnhoelzl is the man that has dominated the racing action here at this prestigious half-mile facility.
Not to mention the fact that you got a first-place trophy, George. You and I talked in practice.
All right, I'm ready to go, Brian. We are about to go down the victory lane with Pat Evans as he will interview our 2nd place runner-up, Brian Ross.
Quite a run. Listen, how's the car running?
Car's running real good. I was out of right rear tire at the end. I pushed pretty hard to come back through the pack and catch George. He pitted a little bit before I did, so I might have burned it off a little bit too much trying to catch him. And he was going real good today, and I'm glad he won it. He's a good competitor, and those guys have helped me an awful lot, so I wish him the best. We had a good weekend, 2 seconds, and I'm happy.
Is there anybody else you'd like to thank?
Oh, yeah. By all means, Ed Lanier, who built the motor. West Hartford Tool and Die. Couldn't do it without them. They've been so much help to me. Larry and Barbara Moore. I wouldn't be in business today if it wasn't for them helping me out. All my crew, my son Chris, who's my crew chief, Richard DiDario, my partner, the cook. You know, we got a whole bunch of them to thank. SoCal Racing Fuel, they help us out an awful lot, and it's the best gas going. Gives us a lot of horsepower in that Ed Lanier engine.
All right, Brian. Brian works as a PR man off-season.
Brian, I saw your son Chris driving your other car last week. Is that the way it's going to be, or what?
Well, I give him a chance to try it out a little bit. You know, the field was a little bit short up there, so we wanted to scuff some tires, and we were trying a little different setup on the car, and I wanted him to take it out and feel it out for me. And mostly I wanted to see size up some tires for this weekend. So we just had an opportunity to use him to do it, so we did. He'll be coming pretty soon.
All right, where do you go from here?
We go to the Thompson 300 next week with the Red Rocket there, the 69 car, and they took the motor out of that after Oswego the other night to send it back and get it freshened up, so they didn't even come down here for backup. I had to stay out of trouble today because I didn't have a backup car, but we thought it'd be the best thing to do because we want to be super ready for next week, so they're up there today going through the car from head to toe and front to back, and they'll be real happy to hear that we had a good day here today. That Hemi Cuda Racing TJ Toyota team, they're doing a real good job for me too, and you know, that new performance technology engine we got in there is really pulling us down the chute. So, you know, that coupled with the SoCal gas that helps us fire, we're going to have a good fall here, I think.
All right, Brian Ross, congratulations on your second place.
Well, once again, that kind of concludes things down at the start-finish line area here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. And as we said, the winner of this prestigious event has been George Brunnhoelzl with car number 28. It has been a great afternoon of competition here at the Stafford Motor Speedway with a lot of close racing action. 200 circuits around the half mile here, and of course, among the very best, the winner, George Brunnhoelzl. He won Friday night, and he did it once again here for this spectacular Monday afternoon. On behalf of all of us here, we want to thank you for being a part of our presentation of this exciting sport of NASCAR modified racing here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. For Brian Danko, this is Ben Dodge. We've enjoyed the festivities and the competition.